Now he's ready. Stacey.
Okay, we would like to welcome everyone to our Spanish Forks City Council meeting tonight. It's good to see so many people here. We have a small agenda, but a mighty agenda. So we want to start out by having our past chair, Mario Benson. He's going to come up and offer a prayer, and then Councilman Marshall will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Our Heavenly Father, we'd like to bow our heads and offer gracious thanks for the opportunity to celebrate the 250th anniversary of this great and wonderful nation and give thanks for the blessings and freedoms that we enjoy. We're especially grateful to gather here together as a community, as friends and family to better ourselves and better such a wonderful place that we have to live in. And we're especially grateful for that opportunity to bring the community together in these festivities this year. Heavenly Father, we'd ask a special blessing upon the state of Utah for the firefighting efforts, and we ask for moisture and rain. We ask for these things humbly, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Will you all please rise and join me in the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We would like to excuse Mayor Mendenhall and Councilman Took. They are both on family vacations this week. And we have some fun recognitions on our agenda tonight. So moving forward, I would like to invite Lindsay and Gary Coffey. Is Gary here? Lindsay, she's gonna fly solo until she invites all of her friends up, or you can invite everyone up right now. Lindsay and Gary Coffey are our 2026 Fiesta Days chairs. And I'm going to let Lindsay take over, and Emily, our events coordinator. Emily, you're going to take it up from here?
Yes, Stacey.
And give us all things Fiesta Days.
We appreciate the time that you're giving us today to talk about Fiesta Days. We are so excited about Fiesta Days. I just want you guys to know, as soon as Fiesta Days is over, we are already starting to plan the next Fiesta Days. This committee does not rest at all. You will see us text messaging each other in the middle of the night and on weekends and holidays with all these great ideas we're always having. I would like to introduce our committee. After I introduce them, each one of them would like to take a minute to tell you about some of their Fiesta Days events, and then we'll turn the time back over to Lindsay, who will introduce our Grand Marshals. So first, this is Lindsay Coffey. Her husband, Gary's not here today, but we adore him. Next, if you guys want to come up here, we have Dave and Shani Call. They are our incoming chairs, so they will be over Fiesta Days next year. And then we have our outgoing chairs, Mario and Valerie Benson. And then the rest of the Fiesta Day staff, as far as Parks and Rec staff, we have Tracy Wiley, who is our new Recreation Assistant Director. Sorry, I forgot the title for just a moment. And then we have Bronco Hunter, who is the new Parks and Recreation Director, because Dale is leaving us as he is going to retire, which we're very jealous and we're going to miss him. So I will go ahead and turn the time over to Lindsay to start off talking about Fiesta Days events.
Thank you. I want to express my gratitude for all of you and for the support that you give us on this committee and for the opportunity that we have to even serve. This is so much fun. And I just wanted to take a quick second and talk about, well, I'm going to do two because my husband's not here, so I'm going to represent both of us. He is in Alabama right now. So anyway, my absolute favorite event of Fiesta Days is the flag retirement ceremony. There is nothing that is more patriotic than sitting in a crowd or being able to even hand those flags over to our military and have them retire those flags. And it's so humbling, and the pride that is there in reverence, all those things exist in that same space, and it is just absolutely beautiful. And this year we are especially excited because we have Jenny Taylor, who's going to be our speaker there, and her husband, he was killed in service, and so now she makes these rounds, and she's also part of the America 250 events, and so we are so grateful to have her come and speak to us. So I am just, pitching that. Please come, because if you haven't been to it, you are missing out. And the other thing I just love to shout out is the quilt show. It is so fun. Those people are artists with their fabric. They're amazing. So, if you've missed that, shame on you. So you need to come out and join the quilt show. So those are a couple things that I just wanted to shout out. So, all right, Mario.
I would like to promote the disc golf tournament. It's July 10th and 11th, and I would like to offer a special thanks to the city for all the work and improvement that has gone into the Urban Forest Disc Golf Course here in Spanish Fork, which is where it will be held at. Being in the disc golf community and having participated in many disc golf events, I'm very proud to say that our own disc golf course here in Spanish Fork Urban Forest is a destination location. And each time I go out there, people have traveled to our city to play in that disc golf course. The improvements are fantastic and wonderful, and it is a pleasure to be part of the city that has presented such a nice opportunity and area for those that play disc golf to participate and play disc golf. So that event is July 10th and 11th. It is the second year. This is the second year that it is part of Fiesta Days, based off of the success that we had last year. Anyway, great event. So one of my favorites.
If you guys haven't been down to the disc golf course, you need to go check it out. What they did with, I assume it's the final hole, is elevated up on this hill. I mean, it's pretty cool. Yeah, go check it out.
It's made it more a little bit more difficult, though. My event that I just go back to every year, just because my family, I was born and raised here in Spanish Fork, and the parade is just a must-go-to event for our family. We spent years and years sitting in front of my grandma's store, and our family still sits there every year, and so the parade is just something that I would recommend everybody go to and get involved in, and all the activities that happen afterwards. There's also a lot of fun. So.
Well, I get to talk about children's activities, so Kids Day. This is one of my favorite events because what I love about Fiesta Days is that there's something for everyone, and even the kids get a day where they get to go and play. And the committee that have planned this have put so much work into it. They plan for about 1,000 to 1,500 kids to provide activities for them from 9:30 to 12 in the morning. There's lots of local businesses that have sponsored some booths for us, and you'll see the long lines of kids getting their faces painted. They're going to be participating in different activities. They get prizes, and it's just a really fun day. And what I love is that they've made sure that even children with adaptive needs are able to participate, and I think that's really important because it's something for everyone. So that's the event that I like.
Awesome.
I'm going to hit two events, and they're really, they kind of come around the city. Much like our theme this year, in the heart of it all, they're at the city park. Two things that I love. One, I love to laugh because I think it's good for the soul. And again, we're having a comedy box on the 23rd in the park in the evening. So I love it because you get some good laughs. They're clean, great for the family. The other one is on Sunday nights, Sunday in the park. Can't remember. All the hats are making me real nervous for some reason. So, but it's just great. This year we have Lincoln Highway that is actually coming and playing, and then sometimes you get some other local talent. But I just enjoy kind of hanging out, enjoying family, and chilling out. And again, it's just in the heart of the city. which is fantastic. So.
Thank you.
Right, well, if you guys want to sit, you're welcome to. You don't have to stand this whole time. But so I'm going to take just a quick second before we introduce our Grand Marshals, and I want to talk about our theme this year. So last year at the flag retirement ceremony, as the incoming chairs, I knew we were going to be responsible for the theme, and former Mayor Leifson was speaking, and I can't even remember exactly how he led into it, but I heard him say, well, if he didn't say it, I heard it, but I don't know, inspiration or what, I don't know. But I heard him say, at the heart of it all. And it was like lightning. It struck me and I thought, oh my goodness, yes, that's it. That's what we need to talk about. That needs to be our theme for 2026, because Spanish Fork is a gathering place. We are the heart of it all. We're kind of an amazing melting pot for so many different things. And I started thinking about that in that moment, and I had this little piece of paper, and I wrote down at the heart of it all, and then I started drawing this logo. And I just wanted to, if you haven't seen it, which all of you have it on you, which is so cool, but I kind of just want to touch on a few things. The first thing that came to my mind was the celebration of Escalante and Dominguez coming through here. And I remember, even as a little girl, how awesome I thought that was. And I pictured the statue right here, and so I hurried and drew the statue down. Well, a very poor representation of the statue. If you guys saw my thing, you would totally understand. And then I thought, oh, well, then we have the Icelanders, because we have that really cool monument. So I hurried and doodled that. Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you for putting it up there. And then I thought of the Thurber School, because I love the bell, right? And then I'm like, but we have rodeo, and we are built on, amazing farmers that came and settled this area. So all of them are represented here. And I do have to hand it to the artist who actually created this, because my bucking bull looked more like a bucking buffalo. It was
good, Lindsay.
So I am a little disappointed the buffalo's not represented, but other than that, no, this is fantastic. And then being America 250, the flag had to be there. So that is how it all came together in just kind of one of those little moments because of something somebody said. And so when we got together as a committee, we were trying to figure out, hey, who would best, represent that as our Grand Marshals? And it was a unanimous decision that we had the Lydiards, Brenda and Dwight Lydiard, because they have been exemplar citizens in our community. And so I'm going to just tell you just a short little teeny tiny bit about them, and there's an amazing write-up about them in the magazine. But these two kids are born and raised. They have been here their families have been here for generations. So if you think of like Spanish Fork stock, they most literally are. And they have served in our communities as in education. Dwight was a principal. They have taken charge and have done so much with the livestock show. Brenda has been, she served for 30 years in the Chamber of Commerce. And if there's anybody that exemplifies service, it is indeed the Lydiards. And so with that, I would like to introduce you to them if you don't already know them. Oh, come on up. And I want to tell you just one fun little fact that I didn't know until I read this article, but it totally made me chuckle. But they met while dragging Maine. And I know all of you are old enough to remember what that is, and if you say you're not, you're lying, okay? But that's how these two kids met, and I just think that's so fun. So we're going to turn a little bit of time over to them, and you prepared for that? And I'm just going to let them kind of introduce themselves and just so we can all get to know them a little better. So.
Oh, I'm just so surprised at this honor. I so appreciate it. So I want to thank everyone. I don't know, my whole family, live in my great-grandfather's home, been here my whole life. Like they said, I served in the chamber, I work at our family business. Just love Spanish Fork with all my heart. Just great to be a part of.
I would echo that too. Lifelong resident of Spanish Fork. I had the opportunity to work in Spanish Fork schools, even though I worked for Nebo School District. My entire career, except 1 year, was in Spanish Fork at Larson and East Meadows and Spanish Fork Junior High, Brockbank, so in the district office. So it is. But like Brent said, I love Spanish Fork. It's a huge part of who I am. We love the stock show, and we're very involved there. I'm about on my 7th year as president of the stock show, and we also help with the county fair stock show, and that's a big part of what we do. But we've lived here all of our lives, and just Spanish Fork is pretty dear. So thanks. It's just a tremendous honor.
Hang tight for just 2 seconds. I should let you choose.
There you go.
So we just wanted to give them a little gift, some camp chairs from us to say thank you for everything they've done. And we forgive you for the 1 year of not, not teaching in Spanish Fork. Just one last thing I wanted to say is when we went to meet with the Lydiards, we knew that we had picked the right couple because they were so humble and overwhelmed. And it was emotional for all of us because you can see how grateful they are. And so I just want to express our thanks to both of you for all you've done for the community and all you continue to do. We truly are blessed and fortunate to have you as citizens here. So thank you guys so much.
Can I share a quick story about Dwight Lydiard? So Dwight was my 4th grade teacher, so he's Mr. Lydiard to me. He doesn't remember this, but I remember this. There was one day during class that he called me back to his desk. I remember this clear as day. I don't remember a lot about 4th grade, but I remember this. I was scared. He called me back to his desk, and he said, "Kevin, you're getting a C right now, and I expect more from you." And that was all he said. And that has stuck with me ever since. And so as a grown adult looking back and appreciating that now, to have a teacher who expects something from you and expects more, that you're capable of more, that has influenced my life in ways that you may never know, but thank you.
Very cool. Thank you, Kevin. When I joined the Chamber of Commerce, I want to say it was like in 2010 or 2011, Brenda was serving on the board. And straight away, I think I went to one ribbon cutting, and they're suddenly saying, "Do you want to be on the board?" And I said, "What does that entail?" and I think that's why I'm here today, just because following in people's footsteps like Brenda, that continually served through the decades, not just for a couple years and step back and live her life, but continually served. And I think if this is what Dragging Maine produces in our community, that I'd like to make a motion to bring back Dragging Maine in Spanish Fork. Chief, are you for that?
Mayor Huff would be rolling in her grave. She would not like that.
We love the Lydiards, and thank you for being our Grand Marshals for 2026. And Lindsay, you and Gary have just been such the perfect chairs this year to be planning last year for what your role would be this year, to coming up with the theme and that meeting where we all chuckled that someone was riding a buffalo. But we caught her vision, and she's so passionate, just as you can tell listening to it. You've just been perfect for leading out this year, so thank you. And I want to mention your magazines should be in your mailboxes. If they are not, or if you want extra copies for family and friends, you can go to the Parks and Rec Department and pick up extras. So I think that's all. Thank you to the committee for being here and sharing all of that. All the calendar is here as well as online. Also, our social media feed this month will be full of daily tidbits of where you should be going and things you can be doing with your family. So next up is our rodeo committee. Nick, is that you? You and your crowd?
Kevin, I think if someone would have said to me, "You're getting a C," I'd have been like, "Give me 5, let's go."
Fiesta Days committee, don't leave until after the rodeo committee because I forgot to give you something. Thank you.
Well, we're excited to be here. The rodeo's coming fast. I can't believe what are we, less than 2 weeks away. It's going to be a fun rodeo this year. We have, kind of backed by popular demand, our motorcycles. Super high energy, something for all the non-rodeo fans. I don't think there's anybody that can't appreciate a guy on a motorcycle doing a backflip. So that'll be fun. Gosh, we have a lot of the same. We're going to be Monday through Friday this year. We'll start on the 20th and conclude on the 24th. We do have Slack every day at 9 a.m. For those of you that like the timed events, you can come down. It's free to watch. I enjoy that. I think that's one of the funnest parts of it. So I'll let these other guys interject what they have as well.
Okay.
Lindsay, I learned about 10, where did Lindsay go?
Behind you.
Back? I learned as I began interviewing employees that worked for Spanish Fork City 10 years ago, I learned that in a certain generation from Mayor Huff back, about 40% of those that were married met on Main Street. It is actually an unbelievable amount of people that have met. And I don't say that to say it's not unique. I say that like it was a special happening place. I can't imagine what Spanish Fork Main Street was like on a Friday night when this town was the size that we were in the 80s and 90s. So I totally support Matt's concern about what would return, but it is really bright. I mean, Main Street is brighter today than it was back then, so I mean it's probably okay. But it might help the birth rate challenges that the state is, the marriage rates and things like that. But that's an awesome story. It's fun to know, and of course, the Lydiards are a great part of the community. So we're excited we get to recognize them. I think every night of the rodeo as well, and that's fun. Something that we're doing this year is kind of small, and Nick's a little nervous about me highlighting it. Am I taking it? Is that what you're going to say?
No, we just wondered when you were going to talk about the rodeo.
The rodeo's in a couple of weeks.
Not too late. It's not too late. So.
You'll have time.
Yeah.
You can still come back up if you have something else to say. It'll be all right. I just wanted to say, you guys know this is the toughest ticket in town. The rodeo started with the Diamond Fork Riding Club in 1972. So this is our 84th year. 42. 42, thank you. My math's not very good. I grew up in Spanish Fork. 1942. So this is our 84th year. And I have lost track. I used to count the number of sellouts that we had, and I've totally lost track.
Started in 07, so we're 19.
All right. So 19 years worth of performances this rodeo has sold out. And it just keeps getting better and better. The thing we really love about this rodeo is the culture that we've created over that time. This is a family atmosphere, which is unique. You won't find that anywhere else you go because we don't sell alcohol. We make it a family event, and it's become tradition for families to come here for the 24th of July for reunions. And one of the things they do together is go to the rodeo. So we love the culture that's been created with this committee and these guys that work really hard to maintain that. When you get as popular as our rodeo, it's not always that easy to maintain that. You got a lot of people that are anxious to get in and be a part of it. So anyway, come and enjoy the rodeo. If you don't have a ticket, I'm sorry. Get on earlier next year. I'm just waiting for you to say something.
All still Seth's thunder. So what he was alluding to that he's excited about, and maybe me not so much. And it's probably worth telling you a little bit of a story. So me and one of my employees there, we went to a rodeo in Texas to a conference, and in talking, networking with some of those other guys, they told us one of the biggest, they had done a study on crowd engagement. And their number one crowd engagement was when the sheepdog herds the sheep out of the arena. Number 2 was mutton busting, and number 3 was barrel racing. So we have a sheepdog that we're gonna try using it both pre-show and during the rodeo to herd the sheep out of the arena, which will be amazing if it can hear its handler and works well. So yeah, I think has the potential to be really, so that'll be a fun.
If you're Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you don't see the dog,
It didn't go well on Monday. The only other thing I have is thank you. The rodeo has grown, got more popular, and that's in large part because of you guys and the support that you give us, both the rodeo and the fairgrounds. I think it's so awesome where the fairgrounds is headed, the investment that we're putting in there for the long-term success of it. So thank you so much. Any of you guys have anything else? It's not as cool as the cowboy hat you have. I love them, but I did bring each of you a rodeo ball cap.
All right, thank you.
Wait, that's not as cool as these?
Not near as cool.
Should we put these on
I used to
instead?
be wearing that around all the time, just out driving down Broad Main Street.
Like back and forth with that on.
Cool. Okay, my Fiesta Days committee, come on back up. I have a gift for each of you. Just take one and then you can shuffle them around out there. Is that okay?
What are we going to do if you ever decide not to run?
Well, one more year, and then nobody will ever get a gift again.
Truer statement's never been said.
That is true.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want you all to know how much I appreciate your time and energy and talents, and I love working with you all. So thank you.
Yeah.
Yep. Good night.
Before she leaves, can we appoint Stacy as the chairperson?
Moving on.
Yeah.
So we are now going to go to public comments. Is there anyone here that would like to approach the council tonight? Okay, seeing none.
Should we also say that there's an agenda item later, way later, that we were going to talk a little bit about the idea of a data center, and we're going to table that, right?
Yes.
So if anyone wants to stick around to listen to that conversation, it's not going to happen. It'll be in a future.
Later,
yeah, it'll be a future.
It's good to bring that up now.
Okay.
Just if somebody was here for that.
So again, the agenda item, is that number 38? Will be tabled, the discussion.
18.
38.
My gosh. I now put my readers on and it's 18. Okay.
There better not be 38 on there.
All right, next up is council comments. And since Councilman Took's not here, why don't we just let Kathleen from the Chamber of Commerce kick us off, and then Councilman Cardin.
Thank you so much, everybody. Everyone's getting their trips in while they can, yeah? Just a few upcoming events from the Chamber of Commerce. We've got Business After Hours this month. It's actually coming up on Thursday, July 9th from 5:30 to 7 p.m. You guys are all invited to come and network. We saw a lot of feedback from our businesses that struggled to get out during the middle of the day at the lunchtime, so this is part of an effort to be able to allow networking opportunities in a range of time periods. So that'll be Thursday, July 9th from 5:30 to 7. Then business new networking luncheon will be July 16th at the Hampton Inn at noon. We'll be hearing from Prime Restorers. Mark Harris will be presenting for us and teaching us a little bit about how to keep our homes safe during this time period. Then We have a fun week of Fiesta Days. Shortly thereafter, on the 29th, we will be opening the Bank of Utah. We'll have their grand opening on the 29th of July at 11:30 in the morning. And then our business of the month for this month is Swad Cabin. They're an Indian food restaurant down by the mini Walmart. She has been so supportive of this community, and I'm very excited to recognize her. So we'll be celebrating Swad Cabin on July 31st at noon, and that's our month.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Mayor Pro Tem. I don't have anything to report. I just wanted to say thank you to, in a little bit preemptive, and also for what's been happening with specifically our police and our fire. I know that the 4th of July is always a busy time, and I know we're going to talk about it a little bit more, but thank you for all the effort that goes in there, but also to all of our city staff as we head into Fiesta Days, all the countless hours that will go in from everyone from Parks and Rec, Public Works, police, admin, everybody will be putting in lots of extra hours, so thank you. And to the public, if you see our city workers out there, please thank them. They oftentimes are working very, very, very long hours during that time. I've often seen our police officers go from not having a tan at all to very, very dark or red, whichever color they go during that time. So thank you for what you will do, and that's all I got.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. To echo what Councilman Cardin said, grateful to all of our employees, our first responders. Grateful to Chief Hales. He's been great to keep us in the loop and give us daily updates on the fireworks and things that have happened in our community. We've got great crews that are out taking care and keeping us all safe, so thank you. We've got 2 additional items that I wanted to speak on tonight. Jack, whichever one you bring up first. We had a group of volunteers that helped out in a park or in a wooded area down by the sports park along the river trail. These are members of the Nebo Goats mountain biking team, and they were recently awarded a RAP grant from the city that will be used to put in a mountain biking pump track, mostly for beginner level, maybe intermediate level, mostly for young youth and kids. So they went down to this area where the track is going to go in, and they spent, I think they said, 132 combined hours over 2 days helping clean up the area and make it ready to put this pump track in. So just wanted to share that and let them know how much we appreciate the work that they did. Also Parks and Rec, once they had these piles all put together, Parks and Rec came in and cleaned it all out, so we're grateful for their efforts as well. The other item, we have a new business in town, which I had the opportunity to participate in their ribbon cutting and ground opening. Wheeler Machinery Company had an awesome event on June 26th where they invited some of us to come out and see their grand opening. What a great asset to our community. What a great asset to Spanish Fork to have them here. It was great to be able to see some of the things that they do. They gave everybody a hat. I made sure to grab while this hat was given to me by one of their employees, and I made sure to give it to Councilman Argyle. So something special about this hat that he's got was the guy that gave it to me said, "This is a unique hat. You shouldn't have this because these are the employee-only hats. Only the employees get these," but he gave it to me, and I gave it to Councilman Argyle.
So you outed him.
What's that?
You outed that guy in public.
I did. I didn't say his name. Didn't say his name. Nobody knows who it was. But yeah, super grateful to have them in our city. I think they'll be a great asset to Spanish Fork. And that's all I've got, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Yep. So formal tonight, Councilman this and Mayor Pro Tem that. I had the opportunity to sit with the Veterans Council on Wednesday last week. And that group was getting smaller and smaller all the time. Mm-hmm. They elected a new president, which was whoever sat in that seat when they walked in. You are now the president, and you're the vice president. Wow. And they just shuffled a little bit. But the dedication that those folks have is pretty amazing. And they have some needs, and Seth and I talked a little bit about it. They need a place to store the crosses that they put up on Memorial Day. They are stored in their houses and the side yards. So if anyone out there has a place that they could offer up some storage, the city can find some, or if a resident has an opportunity to a place that they could store them, we really appreciate it. They've invested quite a bit of time and effort in building those and need a place to store them because it's a
There's like 2,000 now.
yeah, it's they ordered a bunch this year, and a local welder welded them all together for us, and so
Mountain High School.
Yep, it's cool. They put a lot of work into that, and they take pride in it. So if someone has a place to store them, we'd love to reach out. And
Are they in a trailer that can be outside, or does it need to be in a shed, garage type place?
it probably needs to be covered. Yeah, that is the challenge. It needs to be covered. They have quite a few questions about what the plan is for their building. They have a lease that they're concerned about that goes for 99 years. So they're trying to find it. I assured them that we recognize they have a need down there, and we want to replicate it somewhere. But as we talk about what to do with that corner, we really need to figure out how far we want to go with them. And the Utah Daughters of the Pioneers is also something we need to figure out. And we're getting close, right? We've broken ground with the new fire station. Will be a time when we're going to talk about what to do with that corner, and we need to consider both of those organizations.
I will say, just to add to that, Shane, real quick, I've had discussions with Rilla. I know, Seth, you've talked with Rilla. She is putting in efforts to reach out to other individuals within Spanish Fork that own property and buildings outside of Spanish Fork City to see if there are any possibilities for them to move into some of those buildings. So she is putting in some efforts.
She's an incredible lady. I've enjoyed getting to know her.
Anyone wants to join the council? Show up on every other Wednesday, the first Wednesday of every other month. Please do. They need some help. They need a little bit of youth in that little group. They are doing great work, and they support just about everything you can think of across the community. And they are truly dedicated to this city and to the veterans, and so it's a pleasure. It's an honor to be representing them here tonight. So that's it for me.
Okay, thank you. Okay, last week I was able to attend a week-long convention with the Public Power, and Jake Tyre in our power department was there with us, and we share our power, UMPA, right here in Spanish Fork. That is an acronym for Utah Municipal Power Agency. The cities that belong to that is Provo, Spanish Fork, Salem, Levan, Nephi, and Manti. And while we were at this convention, we spent most of a full day on Friday at the Boston Boys and Girls Club. And we were met with about, I think it was 150 other individuals from across the country serving. We were doing landscaping, weeding, painting, deep cleaning. There was a lot going on, and it was just the power of everyone coming together. And the director there at the Boys and Girls Club just said it's just so amazing to see people from across the country come together and work so hard to make something so valuable even better that the kids can come this summer and take pride in. So we talked a lot about nuclear power, data centers, and it also just reminded me how lucky we are as a city to belong to a public power agency where we get dividends every year in our general fund to help fund Spanish Fork City. I think Spanish Fork, we have a healthy budget, but talking to someone like Manti, that's a big chunk of their budget. They're so grateful, and that doesn't happen anymore. So it was a really great group to be part of. So I think that's everything. Anything else for you guys? Okay. We will move on to staff reports. Seth.
Thank you. Tyler would, if he were here, would report that Tyler's coaching. He's coaching in the state tournament and hopefully winning. His daughter Everly, he's the coach of his daughter Everly's team, so hopefully he'll have a good news tomorrow. He would report, he's on the board for Central Utah 911, and this last board meeting they voted to I'm going to say annex. It's probably not the right word, but I like it. To annex in the city of Orem and cities of Orem and Linden and Vineyard Fire into the Central Utah 911 dispatch group. That agency exists to provide dispatch services historically and originally to anybody but Orem, Linden, Provo, Springville, and Pleasant Grove. And it's morphed a little bit through the years, and at this time it was advantageous for Orem and Linden to consider joining. And they've made application, gone through a study process, and were accepted. So I think they have a year before they'll join, but that should enhance the services in the county. And if all goes according to plan, it should be no net increase in cost to the district, and perhaps decreased costs through some shared services. So that we're hopeful for that. I want to spend a moment. I've got Chief Hales here. I want to spend a moment talking about fireworks. So maybe Ed, if you wouldn't mind coming up to the mic, give us maybe a brief report on your department's experience with fireworks. And Matt, you've got a mic right there too. So if you have any thoughts of your department's experience with fireworks, I think that'd be helpful for the council. Has some ideas. You guys have given us some briefings each day, but maybe give us a quick insight into what led up to this 4th of July, because there was a lot of things kind of in the behind the scenes work with the governor the week of the 23rd, 24th, 25th, and then of course the 4th of July. So give us a little bit of that, and then council, while he's talking, I think it'd be really helpful for the two chiefs and for me in some of the things that we will probably be asked in this space of time between now and the 24th of July. I think we can expect potentially some similar restrictions or opportunities for restrictions statewide. And I think they'll want some feedback on what was the experience. And so if you have any additional thoughts or feedback, maybe some of your experiences, good or bad as they might have been, I think we'd love to hear some of the feedback that you may have as well.
So first of all, I just want to tell the citizens of Spanish Fork, thank you. They did an amazing job at adhering to the safety measures that we asked them to adhere to in shooting fireworks off in designated areas and doing so without much chaos being caused within the community. This all started out as Governor Cox came out with an executive order to ban fireworks, or request a ban of fireworks on state and county lands, I believe is what the terminology was. I might have got that wrong. But he asked for a ban of fireworks in specific areas within the state. And then he asked for fireworks to be banned in areas where wildland-urban interfaces could potentially be harmed and cause issues with those. In that same conversation, he asked cities to provide safe areas or areas that are designated within their communities for fireworks to still be discharged. And many conversations were had across many municipalities on what are we going to do. We have the authority now to ban fireworks altogether, or we can allow our communities to have areas of safety or areas to shoot those off in that won't cause harm or potential harm to large areas of wildland-urban interface. And as we talked as administrative staff and with others, we felt that we had a very good plan in place already that already met the law that the legislature had laid out for us on putting forth a map that designated high hazard areas where fireworks would not be allowed to be discharged, and then areas that we had within the community that they could. And we felt like that was the safe thing to do and to allow discharge of fireworks in our community throughout the 4th of July holiday. And as we put that map out, we've got a lot of feedback from those in the community that, well, this field is dry and I don't want fireworks at this field, and this area needs to be put in a red zone. And we went back to our city ordinance, and the city ordinance already outlined the areas that we couldn't discharge in, regardless if they were on a map or not. And that was within 200 feet of open fields, vacant lots, that they wouldn't be allowed to be discharged. And not only did the feedback come back in that they wanted that specific ordinance outlined in red on a map as well. So we took that under consideration. We went back to our map and worked with GIS to determine those areas that would meet the ordinance as well and outline them out on our map. And so that gave a visual as well as a written explanation of where fireworks could be discharged. Throughout that week, we had very, very few incidents. In fact, I counted up as we went through our overall stats, and there was 7 reported fires from the 2nd through the 5th of July. Of those 7 fires, all of those fires were extinguished by property owners prior to the fire department's arrival, meaning that they had their buckets of water, they had hoses, they had fire extinguishers prepared, and those fires all were in areas where discharge was permitted. And each one of those fires that we did have were less than 5 foot by 5 foot areas. Small areas that started, whether it was a bush or some dry grass that was next to their property that hadn't been taken care of. Very, very minimal. Nothing that would have caused a conflagration event or harmed the wild and urban interface, or for that matter, our community. And so we responded to those effectively and took care of those investigations, made sure those fires were completely out. But for that many days to have only 7 incidents, kudos to everyone in their part for being safe in our community. That just shows that we can do fireworks safely in this community, and that what we did was within the law, and we took the governor's order under consideration and made it work within our community. Outside of that, we had several interactions with our community members as we drove through. We were patrolling. We had each year, regardless if it's a dry year or not, we patrol for fireworks, and to just make sure we have trucks out and about so that we can quickly access any fires that occur. And as we were driving through the neighborhoods, so many positive interactions as we would drive by. People, thank you so much for letting us celebrate. Thank you guys, fire department, you're awesome. And just such great positive responses from those that were celebrating in a safe manner. We did across those in our community that may have brought in fireworks from outside of the state of Utah, and we had very good conversations with those folks. And only 1 citation was issued this holiday. And so everyone responded very, very well to the education that we gave them. And we asked that as we move into the 24th, if you have fireworks, please do not discharge them. If you bought them in Wyoming, if you bought them in Nevada, those are illegal fireworks in the state of Utah, and you will be cited for those. And so please know the law as you go into the Pioneer holiday, and shoot legal fireworks that you buy in Utah, locally at our tents, or outside of our city at tents that are here in Utah. Those are legal fireworks. So we really encourage that, and continue to do so safely, having the buckets of water, adhering to the ordinances, adhering to the maps that are set forth for us to make sure that our community stays safe.
Chief, what's an illegal firework? How do you define that?
Yeah, so an illegal firework in basic terms is a firecracker, a tube that is that shoots a mortar out of it. So a singular, like you have to drop a mortar into the shell to shoot it out. Something you would see at a professional show. Any of the things bottle rockets are illegal. Roman candles are illegal. And so those are several.
Aerial fireworks are not illegal.
Aerial fireworks are not illegal. They have to be within a cake. We call them cake fireworks. They're the square boxes that can be shot out, and they go anywhere from 80 to 100 feet in the air. But anything over 150 feet in the air is an illegal firework if discharged.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Part of the reason why we can get away with allowing fireworks is because the areas are based on legal fireworks. And if we get other uses out there, we are going to have a problem because our plan does not accommodate illegal firework usage. So if you're shooting them off and expect a ticket, expect a citation, plain and simple. I'm not a fan that we didn't ban citywide. I think we should have. I think cooler heads prevailed and we made a better decision, but at the time I'm like, I don't think I support it. But it's proven that if we do it right, and our citizens are proven that they can do it right, we should be okay because the regulations are in place. But the moment we go outside of those, expect a ticket. And I expect our folks are enforcing that heavily because we can't accommodate that kind of use in our city. It just doesn't work. We'll start a fire will be started if we start using those type of things.
Absolutely, and I believe what you saw in and across the state were areas that had banned fireworks. The fires that did occur were because of misuse of properly safe protocols as well as illegal fireworks.
There is nothing more disappointing than, say, I think Provo banned the whole city, right?
Yeah.
And yet, I'm going to say some idiot, because our fire marshal gave us the term "don't be an idiot." Right? Some idiot didn't follow the guidance, didn't follow the law, and started the hillside on fire. And gratefully, there were some fire breaks in place, and things went right after they went wrong. But I mean, to your point, it's not something that you want to play around with. So do it smart. And what's the tagline now? Don't be an idiot.
Don't burn
your house down. And
don't burn my house down.
Yeah. So one of the things before I say that, Matt, anything you guys experienced that you want to talk about?
No, I just want to echo the same thing that Chief Hell stated. Thanks to the citizens for abiding by the restrictions, using common sense, have those precautionary measures in place. And I was just going to highlight that there was only one citation issued. So
I think there was also alcohol involved in that too, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Before you move on,
I'm not
going along with the Fire Marshal Turner's comments. I think that our communications team did an awesome job of using. We had a lot of people coming to our website to find out whether or not we were having fireworks, and so then they saw the public information that was available that helped them to stay safe. And I think that we did a good job of making sure that the education piece was along with not just like, hey, we're doing fireworks as normal, but it was like, hey, here are some things you can do. Here are some buckets. Here are some different places that you can make sure that you're staying safe. So I think that went hand in glove with that opportunity.
Yeah. To your point, what I wanted to say is the spotlight that the governor's actions turned on that allowed for education. I don't think in any other year had we done some of the things that we did that we'd get the traction that we got. People wouldn't be looking for it like they were this year. So I loved that there was a spotlight turned on by the governor to be more safe. And then, as you said, Councilman Cardin, our team, all they did is light off incredible fireworks with the work that they did, right? There's just some fun stuff, educational stuff, informational stuff, and I think anytime you can do that in a way that is enjoyable, it's even better. So I don't know in the end. I'm sure the numbers are different from a week or so ago, but I think at some point we calculated 275,000.
350.
So, and it's gone up 75,000 from when we last mentioned it. So yeah, 350,000 total exposures to the different education pieces that we put out. That's great.
It is great.
So
yeah, it's funny to drive around and there are folks dead center in the middle of the road lighting off these things. And some of the, what's the right word? The belief that they now own the center of the road to light off the fireworks is just amazing to me. They're like, what are you doing driving your car here? It's public property. So
it's the 4th of July.
I know.
Freedom.
I know. I get all of that stuff. But don't tell me I can't drive on the road that, yeah.
So any feedback, like I said, I don't know what the next week or two will hold, but I can imagine that, the conversations that we had the week of the 23rd, 24th, 25th of July, that we'll probably start having them in the next few days, probably next week, if not. So any additional feedback that you would have us pass on to some of our counterparts, perhaps at the state level or the governor's office, other cities?
I just want to add, this isn't feedback to pass on, but I live close to Riverview Elementary, and there was a huge show that took place at Riverview, which happens every year. big crowds that come out to watch, and not only that show, but just throughout the neighborhoods, lots and lots of fireworks were being lit off. And that next morning, Sunday morning, early before 7 o'clock, I was driving to a church building and noticed, where this fireworks show had been, and there was no sign at all.
That's cool.
That a fireworks show had even taken place.
Yeah.
In any of the streets that I drove on, it was cleaned up. So kudos to the residents who participated in that and cleaned up after themselves. I spoke to my son last night, who's in Tacoma, Washington, and asked him how his 4th of July was. And he said, Dad, it was World War III. There were fireworks everywhere. But he's like, what surprised me was the next morning, there was garbage everywhere.
Really?
The fireworks were just left in the streets, middle of the streets, no cleanup at all. And so to the residents of Spanish Fork who lit off fireworks and cleaned up after yourselves, thank you.
I would echo all of that sentence. For those that let them off responsibly and cleaned up, thank you very much. Great job. Those of you who didn't do one of those two, do better next time.
Right.
Yeah.
'Cause the litter afterwards, it's just so
It's messy.
frustrating. Just my yard has several pieces of litter on it. I'm like, you burned my fake grass, buddy. We're gonna have a problem. But
Seth, to come back to your, maybe
Yeah.
directly to your question, I think that if there was comments that I think that we could give to counterparts is, I think we've proven that it can be done sensibly with the right education, with the right restrictions in place, and with what Councilman Marshall said, right? The citizens taking those precautions seriously and trying their best to do those as well. I think there's a way to do it in a way that makes sense, right? And Spanish Fork City showed it. And the other part is it'd be nice if other cities would do that so that not everybody in the county and state is coming to Spanish Fork to light fireworks, right? Because that does put undue stress on our staff.
Yeah. Please.
Okay, I was going to say, with that being said, while I was at this public power conference, I was with Mayor Simons from Salem when all of these decisions were being made. And it was interesting listening to another city. She says Salem is much different. There's still so many fields over here, and it's so dry.
Yeah.
And so for that community, I think they made
Makes
the
sense,
right
yeah.
Made good
decision.
And a volunteer
Yeah.
fire, right? Like,
Yeah,
it makes
so
sense.
I just thought, I'm glad that the governor really let every city decide, because I think Spanish Fork is in a place where it worked out that we could do it.
I agree.
Yeah, we say often one size misfits all, and I think to say to any city, why did you shouldn't have, I think that's premature. But I did talk to some of my city manager counterparts, and one said, well, we're going to cancel because everybody else around us did, and we don't want everybody to come to our town, so we'll send them to your town. He was joking, but I don't think he was totally joking, right? And that's lame, right? You're just pushing the easy button at that point. Come on, be thoughtful, be methodical. I think that that we went through a wonderfully deliberate, thoughtful process, and I'm really proud of all of you and the staff that as you went through that. That's great feedback. On a similar vein, maybe a couple of weeks ago, a couple of weeks before the 4th, there was an incident on a hillside on the river bottoms where one of our crews was actually mowing some lawns, and they encountered a circumstance. They got a mower stuck and tried to get it out, and we're doing things, good things, but in the end started some dry weeds on fire. Whew, that hillside took off fast. Great response by the neighbors, excellent response by the fire department, and in the end, good news, good stories. We did receive an email from a resident, so I don't know what your thoughts are on that, so I'm probably looking to you to give me some feedback or some direction. We don't need to do that here right now, but I would welcome some feedback. I know you sent an email, Councilwoman back, but if there's some additional feedback and direction that you have for us, then I think we'd love that, and we can work on that. Right now, I don't really know what that direction would be. So if you have any feedback, please send that so we can do some things there, or nothing, right? Depending on whatever your feedback is. I think that's it for now.
Okay, thank you.
All things fire.
Things fire, your favorite topic, one of them. You have many. Budget. sewer treatment plant.
Yeah, if
here.
anybody's interested in seeing what World War III in Spanish Fork looks like, then I've got some fantastic videos and sound of what Spanish Fork sounded like on the 4th at 10 o'clock. So that's great.
Okay. Well, thank you for that report. Next is Spanish Fork 101.
So as you're aware, twice a year we have to report on our VOCA grant, but before we do that this evening, I just want to take a moment and introduce our new victim advocate, Amora Floyd. She joined our department about 2 months ago, has been a wonderful addition to the office. She's implemented some great new ideas, has great enthusiasm for the job, great working relationship with our officers, our city attorney's office, and our citizens as well. So when she interacts with our citizens, some of those people have just experienced something traumatic in their life, and she has a calming effect with those that she interacts with, and we're very fortunate to have her a part of our team. During the interview process, it was a very easy decision to make to bring her aboard, and she's a great addition to our office. Prior to working with our office, she worked at the Department of Workforce Services since 2023, is that correct?
Yeah, about there.
Okay. But I'll turn the time over to Amora, where she'll present some of the facts from our VOCA grant and some of the numbers. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. I was going to say, Jack, you got to make it a little bigger. I'm blind. I'll try to see it from here. I appreciate the opportunity to present to you guys today and kind of bring you up to speed on how the VOCA grant is being administered in our community, and then just a couple of things that we're doing to modernize our outreach with victims and to collaborate with some strategic partnerships. I guess this is me. So the Spanish Fork Police Department, our mission, we try to align the advocacy mission to coincide with the Spanish Fork City mission, where we want to make sure that we are building a vibrant community and we are supporting those that live here and treating them with dignity and respect during their periods of high stress and extreme crisis. So part of the way we're going to do that is just to ensure that every victim is safe and that they have an empowered pathway to justice and to healing. In reviewing the VOCA grant for this year, I'm kind of right in the process of all the reports, we've seen a 13.2% surge since July 1st of 2024, so over a 2-year period. We've seen an increase in our community's domestic violence, stalking and harassment, and then late reporting of sexual assault cases. So in seeing this, we can kind of look at and determine that we need to make maybe some padded resources for those in our community that are experiencing these things. It also shows that the effectiveness of the VOCA grant. So 13.2% is quite low in comparison to some other communities around us. So the victim advocacy program has been working well to get to victims quickly and to help them through that process. Where we could bolster that is maybe with a little more community education in the future. In looking at this slide, this is the total number of victims that we served in the VOCA grant period from July 1st of 25 through June 30th of 26. We served about 203 individuals. These are individuals that charges were filed or reports were filed by the police department, and then the city attorney's office pressed charges. So we can see that among those that we served, their needs ranged from information and referrals to outside sources, criminal justice assistance with getting protective orders, stalking injunctions, and then emotional support and safety. The personal advocacy and accompaniment, that number is a little low only because court is in Spanish Fork. I'm in the police department, and the previous victim advocate and I, we were in court Monday and Thursday. So victims don't really need to ask
for accompaniment, we're always usually there. This slide shows the total number of services provided. So outside of those 200 unique individuals, you can see that we provided almost 900 additional support services to the community. And what this tells us is that when a victim goes through a crisis, it's not a one and done phone call and then pass them along to someone else. It's a multi-layered layered approach to providing services over the life of that judicial process. And sometimes maybe that's 3 months. I'm on some cases now that we're going into the second year of dealing with those individuals and helping them through that process. One of the things that we do see a lot of are a lot of people in our community who don't call the police to file charges, but they do want services. They do want assistance and other referrals for the situations that they're in, for stalking, intimate partner violence, domestic violence, assaults. And so those have also been provided through our advocacy program at the police department. So one of the ways we're going to tackle that 13.2% is scene to service automation. So I did a survey with the police officers and previous victims, and one of the things that was mentioned is they would like less paper. Officers would like less paper to keep in the vehicles and have to pass out, and victims would like less of a paper trail for partners and family members to find. So what we've done is we've created the new victim service pamphlets in front of you, both in English and in Spanish. Those pamphlets have all of the mandated legal rights that I have to inform the victim of. So there's the victim rights, there's the court process in there, there's the confidentiality, because that is limited with the police department. Victims do not have 100% confidentiality with me. That's limited, and they need to be aware of that up front. So we kind of created this so the officers on scene can have that victim register for services in less than a minute. So they can scan that QR code. That registration is in English and in Spanish, and I get an automated notification immediately. So as soon as they hit send, I get a notification. Once that notification is received, a countdown timer starts for me. So I have 72 hours to make sure that I have met with that victim, provided services or safety planning, and then move them to the VOCA grant tracking system. And the way that looks for me is when they come across, it's green. In 48 hours, it turns yellow, and I get a second notification. In 72 hours, it turns red, and I get 2 notifications a day until I can meet with them and move them off. So our goal with that is just to make sure that we are not missing any victims, they're not falling through the cracks, and we're making it easier for the officers on scene. It's very stressful time to be dealing with a victim, doing reporting. Victims are very stressed. So this automated system will make it easy for the officers to help the victim register, and then they don't need to remember to make a referral to me later, and that's how the old process worked. So part of the resources are the bilingual trifold that you have there, and then with the QR code, there's just no barrier to that, and it's 100% confidential. So when it's uploaded to their phone and they fill it out, it's incognito mode, so should they need to pause, at any moment, nobody can see that it's on their phone, and then once they click register, it's gone. So there's nothing lingering for them. And then the caseload tracker starts for me, and we make contact and move through those protocols that are necessary to follow up. The other thing that we're going to do moving forward is we're going to kind of try to meet the gap in legal services. So as an advocate for the police department, I am not legally allowed to help a victim apply for a civil stalking injunction, or a civil protective order. I can give them directions, I can refer them to Utah Legal Aid, I can temp legal services, but I cannot sit with them in that moment of crisis and help them complete those documents. And I also can't attend their court hearings and sit with them in that hearing where they have to face their alleged abuser. So what this new program through the Community Justice Advocate Program, it's called the CAP program, and that's just the Community Advocate Partners Program, and that's a course, a 12-week long course that I will take, and then I have to take a licensing and certification for that. And what that will do is allow me to help those victims, sit with them and help them fill out those civil stalking injunctions and those civil protective orders. And it will allow me to be in court with them and sit with them at the council table for support. And in our community, we're not really termed a rural community, but we still have very much a rural feel. And services that I need to refer victims to, they have to go to Provo and Orem, because those free legal services are not here in Spanish Fork. And so we're going to bridge that gap by offering this service so that victims aren't frustrated, they're not having to wait, they're not waiting to find transportation or a family member who can go with them. And that, I think, will help us be able to increase and elevate our victim services here in Spanish Fork and kind of modernize it and bring it up to speed. And then just as a summary, we're just addressing that 13% rise in local victim services by using those VOCA grant resources and modernizing the access to those services for our diverse community, and then partnering safely with other legal services to make sure that we are providing a whole service to victims in Spanish Fork. So I appreciate the opportunity. Are there any questions?
Go ahead.
What happens if the victim doesn't have a phone and can't use the QR code?
So if they don't have the phone, then there would still need to be the traditional way that we've always done referrals, which means that the officer, when they get ready to file their report, would email me or come to my office and say, we have an individual who would like services.
Okay.
The other thing that they can do frequently, we have people that just walk in the front because they'll go to get groceries and then come to the police department. And so we do still a lot of face-to-face walk-ins in Spanish Fork.
Okay, thank you.
I was just going to say thank you for what you do. I know that your job is not easy at all, so thank you for being that advocate for those who are in some of the toughest times of their life.
Yes, I really enjoy it. I've really honestly enjoyed being at the Spanish Fork Police Department. It was very hard for me to leave Workforce Services. That office, we had a lot of cohesion and a lot of good support for my coworkers, and so I was a little nervous to make a jump to a new organization, and that jump has been seamless. I have had nothing but support all the way around. The officers have been fantastic. We have a lot of really dedicated officers that value the safety of our community and have just been right on board assisting me, and then the staff has just been really great and supportive. So I appreciate the opportunity, and I really hope I can make a good impact here.
It's good to put a face to the name. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking to a resident, and her older teenage daughter walked in after parking in the parking lot for a little while and got brave enough to go in and talk to you, and this person was ranting and raving about you, and we've had amazing victim advocates, and it is you're there for some really integral parts in one person's life, but that also affects the entire family. So thank you.
It does. Yeah, and we have being housed at the police department's also been wonderful because we have a really great legal team there, and I can't say enough about Tanner and Josh and their team. They've held my hand and helped me learn how to access all the programs. So it's really been wonderful. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, I would say thank you too. I think you missed one more slide, and that's the ask.
Oh, yeah. Did you want to ask me a question?
No, you should have been asked us for something. Do you need something from us? Can we help you in your role? Because Jesse's right. This is a tough job.
Definitely going to be asks in the future.
Okay.
But like Chief said, I've just been here 8 weeks, and so I haven't done a.
Doesn't stop, Chief.
I haven't done a full audit of the program yet to see where I think I might need some additional resources. But when I get there, for sure.
Do you want dragging Main? Do you want cruising back on Main Street? I mean, it's.
I grew up doing that, so not here, but no, I would very much not like that back. But when my teenager is an adult and off on his own, we can talk about it. But right now, no.
I don't know. Back to that, we have a choice. They can be on a screen or Main. Where do we want them?
Main.
I don't mind the Main Street routing. It's the parking lot loitering that really.
100%.
Yep. We
Thank you for
digress.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you a ton.
Thank you.
It's a great job.
Okay.
It's great to have the victims advocate. I think we've had the VOCA grant, but we haven't had these kinds of reports. I think in the longer term history of the program. So I love it. I think it's a great thing to keep the victims advocate services that we provide front and center. So thank you, Maura.
Okay. Next, we have consent items. Can I get a motion?
I move to approve the consent items.
Motion made by Councilman Cardin.
Second.
Second by Councilman Marshall. All in favor, say yes.
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 Oops, it's a roll call. Right, Tara? Okay. Councilman Marshall.
Yes.
Councilman Euler.
Yes.
Councilman Cardin.
Yes.
Councilwoman Beck. Yes.
I'm kind of thrown off with you not yelling at us our last names.
I know. Could you please start that?
You just want last names?
Just yell.
It does make it easier.
It does, especially when we move into this next part.
Yes. Okay, let's move on and adjourn into the local building authority.
Move to go into the local building authority.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilman Marshall, a second by Councilman Euler. All in favor? Oh, roll call vote. Councilman Euler.
Yes.
Councilman Cardin.
Yes.
Councilman Marshall.
Yes.
Councilwoman Beck. Yes. So now we're moving to chairs and vice chair. Okay.
Trustees.
Oh.
You're the chief.
Trustee.
You're the vice chair, though.
Okay, yep. Jordan, come on up. Save me.
All right. We're going to be talking about bond issuance public hearing.
I think we have to do some minutes first, Jordan.
Do we need to do the consent?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Can I get a motion for the consent items for the LBA?
So moved.
Second.
Trustee Cardins made the motion and Trustee Marshall seconded that. All in favor say yes?
Yes.
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 Okay, Jordan, the
Roll call.
LBA minutes.
Now it's his turn.
I think it's a roll call.
I think we all said yes at different times, so I think we might be all right.
It doesn't say roll call though.
Okay.
On the minutes it does.
Minutes does. That's
Okay.
the only thing in the consent are the minutes.
All right. The LBA bond issuance public hearing, we discussed this last council meeting, I think ad nauseum. But the bond issuance is for two different buildings, the fire station next door that's being built and a possible public works building as well. The amount is set quite high. That's a parameter, not to exceed. And there's that's set in a way that allows us to issue once we determine what the amounts will be. The Public Works building, we don't know exactly what that amount is going to be right now. This bond is an LBA bond, which means that the collateral is the buildings themselves as well. But any questions on this?
No.
Okay.
No.
So Jonathan, do you want to give us any direction? I don't think we've ever done two public hearings on the exact same thing. And then you're going to say, well, they're not the exact same thing. One's on this and one's on that. So maybe give us some clarification as to why two, and then we can corral the 70 people that want to speak about it into the right lane.
Yeah, there's actually
They are for the same reason. It's for the public to be heard, but they're two separate parts or sections of the code that requires two distinct public hearings. So you open up one, hear the public's comments, you close. You open up another one, hear the public's comments, close. But they're really for the exact same purpose, for the public to be heard. Specifically, one says in the code, the public's comments should be addressed about how this particular project competes with the private sector. And that was one section of the code. I don't know that the fire station or public works building does compete with the private sector, but if there's public comment to the contrary, that's why you have the hearing. Then the other comment, or the other comment period or public hearing, is for the public to voice their comments about the project, or specifically the financing tool, the lease revenue bonds through the local.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Hey, can I get a motion to go into a public hearing?
So moved.
Do we have to specify which one it's for?
Yeah. The first one I think we've noticed is the economic impact of the issuance of the lease revenue bonds, and then the second one would be
Issuance of it.
the general issuance of it. Yeah.
Okay, I move that we move into LBA public hearing for the economic impact of the issuance of the lease revenue and refunding bonds.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Marshall,
Second.
a second by trustee Cardin. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, is there anyone out there that would like to address us? Okay, seeing none, can I get a motion to go out of public hearing?
So moved.
Motion made by trustee Marshall,
Second.
second by trustee Euler. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Any comments up here?
Nope.
Okay, now we go into a second public hearing, right?
Move that we go into public hearing for the LBA public input of the issuance of lease revenue and refunding bonds.
Okay, motion by trustee Euler,
Second. Oh.
second by trustee Marshall. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Okay, are there any public comments for this one? Seeing none, can I get a motion to go out of the public hearing?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, motion by trustee Cardin, second by trustee Marshall. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
I move to reconvene to city council.
Okay,
Have to adjourn and reconvene.
okay.
Yeah, you can do it all at once.
Move to adjourn.
Or reconvene to city council.
Okay.
Did we already adjourn?
We
No?
already adjourned, right?
No, not from LBA.
Okay, I move to adjourn from local building and reconvene
Okay.
back to city council.
Second.
Okay, motion made by trustee Cardin, second by Councilman Marshall. All in favor, say yes.
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 Yes, and now we reconvene back into council.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right, new business. Dave Anderson.
Madam Chair, thank you. We are proposing tonight that the City Council accept, once again, the South Valley Village annexation for further study. This first happened 3 years ago, and given the timing of that original acceptance of this annexation for further consideration or further study, the 3-year application period will come to a close in the middle of next month. The applicants are continuing to pursue both the annexation and a proposed development associated with both the area that's included in the annexation and properties that they control to the east of the annexation area. As you can see on this map, the area that we're talking about is southeast of the Dry Creek interchange that will open here very soon. It's outlined there in the yellow. That's about 18 acres. I believe the area that the applicants, like I said, control and have included in a proposed development is about 4 times that size. To just mention really quickly a little bit more about the process and where this would be. In essence, this would be a continuation of what has been, again, as I said earlier, in process for about 3 years. If you accept this, we will recommence the process of providing public notice to different entities and just going through a number of different steps that are outlined in Utah Code. But Should the council accept this annexation for further consideration again tonight, that would allow us to work with the applicants to see them through a continuation of the process that, once again, they've been working on for some time. So I feel like I'm being really redundant in describing things, and it kind of is. You've been through this before, but as has been the case with some other annexations that have taken quite some time to go through the process, we're back here for that reason. The very foreseeable expiration of the existing application that we have. And I also feel like I should mention that we think it's important to recommence this annexation process because the proposed annexation boundary has slightly changed. And it's a fairly minor change. It's the result of the Utah Department of Transportation having purchased some property that's adjacent to the annexation area to the west. So for those two reasons, the boundary change and the timing of the annexation, we're here tonight to ask the city council to accept this annexation once again for further study.
Okay, any questions?
One. That could lead to 12. No, I'm just kidding. I think one of the last times we had a conversation about annexation for further study, it came back from the study, and we debated the recommended zone that would come into the city, right? We debated on whether or not we'd ever done one as, what was it, ag?
Yeah.
It was coming in ag. We knew it was going to be developed. Industrial. I'm not suggesting you put a zone on this, but I want to see this evaluated as consistent with the general plan, which is not ag there. So don't come back to us and say, here's what would happen if this was ag. Here's the effects of it. It needs to come back with, here's what would happen. Here are the effects if it was developed like the general plan. That's my only feedback.
And I think that was like going into this, it's like, well, why hasn't it been done? It's been 3 years, right? Like you don't have to do zoning per se, but I think that's probably the reason why is because as we've heard, this applicant has kind of went back and forth on what exactly they're going to do in this area. So it's probably been hard for city staff, I'd assume. Maybe I'm giving you a scapegoat, but
No, I'm not at all putting the blame on city staff. I think the applicant has gone through, well, we went through a general plan update. They went through some challenges with the property. UDOT bought a piece from them. I think it's legit to continue this for sure. But it's not reasonable to tell the public that we've studied this coming into the city as something that it will not be, and that is agriculture. We know it's going to be planned for some sort of development, and I think we need to understand what the ramifications of that is so that we can make an informed decision on whether we should annex or not. So,
right.
Kevin, you look like you don't agree with me.
No, I do in a way, not
So no,
completely.
just a way.
Sometimes this area for, how do I say this? I don't know that they can say, or even the city can say what this is going to be because of even the general plan. It's, I think, mixed use, if I remember right, which means it could be residential.
It could be.
It could be commercial. It could be any of those things. Probably won't be ag, to your point, but to give it a designation.
So I'm not suggesting they give us a designation. That's not it.
Okay.
It should be evaluated consistent with the general plan. Well, if it's mixed use, then apply mixed use criteria.
I mean, any of these things is what it could be.
What it could be, that has a different impact to the rest of the city than ag would, or R14
or R.
Or RR. Yes. Thank you. That's all I'm saying. Is be consistent with the general plan. We know what the general plan says, so we evaluate it consistent with that.
Yes, I think that's fair enough. Any thoughts on that, Dave? Any concerns?
Helpful direction. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Do you want that are we making a motion?
Yeah, there's a motion there.
Do you want that in the motion, or are you good with the direction?
I think that's very clear. And frankly, I think that aligns with
I'm
my
sure you're going to do it anyway. Yeah.
Very well. So
Perfect.
Okay, can I get a motion?
I move to accept the South Valley annexation for further study.
Motion made by Councilman Marshall,
Second.
second by Councilman Cardin. Roll call vote, Councilman Cardin? Yes. Councilman Euler?
Yes.
Councilman Marshall?
Yes.
Councilwoman Beck? Yes.
You always get to go last.
I don't know, that's how mayor
Where we
does it.
fall?
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't vote.
Mayor
That's
doesn't
true.
vote.
I'm just
You're
in
in
that.
you're in a tricky
Yeah.
spot for sure.
Okay, Tara, were we really clear at the beginning of the meeting that this item 18 is tabled, or do we need to do
We
anything?
still need a motion.
We need a motion to do that?
I move that we table item 18, the discussion items listed for, I don't know if it says on there, islanded power and data centers.
Okay, motion by Councilman Euler,
Second.
second by Councilman Marshall. All in favor, say yes.
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 Now, City Manager Seth Perrins has the mic.
Thank you.
He
This
told
is
us
not-
10 minutes, if you can start the timer.
This is not an agenda item, but today is the last city council meeting that we will have Dale Robinson as our Parks and Recreation Director. For the public that will be watching this or is watching this today, Dale has announced his retirement, and he'll retire at the end of July. And we won't have a council meeting in the middle of July because of Fiesta Day. So this is his last city council meeting, and Dale has been attending city council meetings for the entire century, actually. And this is kind of a big deal. He's a big part of who we are. If you'll go ahead and put those pictures up for a moment. These are not all of the pictures that we have of Dale, but these are some pictures of Dale. And I'd like to
Is this
tell...
when he started?
Pardon?
This is his first day?
Oh, there he is.
I love... Will you pause it just for a second? Dale has been...
Seth is there.
Yeah, just the second picture. Dale has been... I need it back up before I... I won't talk about every one of them, but there's something in this picture that I think is hilarious. Dale has been boring people in council meetings forever. I mean, look at Steve Leifson in this. He's asleep. He's gone.
He is.
I mean, look at me.
He was young then.
I know. And I'm mad. I'm like, what are you doing? I was mad at him then, like I am tonight. Right,
Were you the city manager in this?
I was not.
Okay.
No.
So he didn't really care. if
He
you were
didn't,
mad or not.
and he still doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dale's been the Parks and Rec. He's been with us in some capacities since the mid-'90s. He started here actually not as a city employee, but kind of. He was a quasi-employee working for the Nebo School District, and he was in what's called the Community Schools Program. This is no longer a part of what we do, but he was then, after Jack Swenson retired, became our Parks and Recreation Director. He is our second Parks and Recreation Director in the city's history, so really a big deal. And I don't actually know how long Jack was the Parks and Rec Director, but I'm assuming probably not as long as you, officially. Yeah. But Dale has seen a lot of incredible growth and change about the city, and he's going to talk about, we'll give him a moment here to talk about it. I think it's worth highlighting some of what I think are some of his greatest accomplishments or things that he's been able to participate in. And a lot of them are highlighted in these pictures as they rotate around. They're not rotating. You want them to rotate? I would love for them to rotate. Yeah, to get me off of there. Starting, of course, with perhaps the most recent, the Fit City Center. I think if the Fit City Center project hadn't started, Dale probably could have retired earlier. But he wanted to be a part of that, and it was something that as you as a council decided that was something you wanted to do, he wanted to have the ability to participate. And with that, I want to highlight in the All Abilities Park, in the North Park, the Sports Park, of course the Fit City Center, the fairgrounds. If you think about some of the facilities that we have, they're amazing. And some of our parks are really just grass and a backstop, right? You've got some parks that are pretty simple. But some of our parks are true gems and perhaps some of the greatest amenities, in this county, perhaps the state, as they're amazing. And honestly, one of the reasons, not the only reason, but one of the reasons they are as great as they are is because Dale has an eye for great detail, and he has a vision of how things could be and how things perhaps ought to be. Sometimes he and the city manager, whether that's Dave Euler or me, sometimes we get at kind of loggerheads over, well, we don't have the money for this, we need to focus on this or that. And Dale really will focus on, let's do it right, let's figure it out. There are some fun stories, we don't need to share them all here, but there are fun stories where Dale, I believe this is important and we need to do it this way, and eventually working through those challenges to get it that way. We don't often focus on, for example, the fairgrounds, the look of the fairgrounds, and I think it's worth saying and repeating. As you drive along Main Street, the fairgrounds has a very prominent view. And if you remember what the fairgrounds used to look like in 2010, and the view from Main Street, it wasn't as beautiful as it is today. And perhaps age had something to do with that, right? But when we rebuilt the fairgrounds outdoor arena, Dale had a vision of, we are a baseball town. Can we make the fairgrounds arena look like a baseball arena too? Not just the underside of grandstands, right? That book was written by an author named Seymour Butts. But to make it look like a beautiful structure. And so, Shane, as you drive down Main Street and you see the fairgrounds, you might think, man, that kind of looks like Yankee Stadium or, some kind of a look. And that is intentional because in the process of doing that, Dale said, we're going to need some of these under buildings. Can we do them in a way that makes Main Street beautiful? Because our fairgrounds is not out in the city's, North 40. Its address, I think, is 475 South Main Street. It's on Main Street, right? And so that's one simple example of Dale having a vision of how something could be and how it should be, and then making it happen. I can share lots of stories about that, but Dale's been great. I want to give you an opportunity. He's not dead. He's over the cemetery. He's not going there. But I think you may not get a chance to roast him. So if you have any stories or any thoughts, anything you want to say about Dale, I think now would be a great time. And then we'll let Dale come up and we'll invite Sharon. I don't think she probably wants to come up. I did not tell her I invited her so that she could come up. But Sharon, you probably have to get up here and say something. So yeah, if you guys want to say anything about...
So he gets
Dale,
the last word?
He does not get the last word because you guys adjourned the meeting.
That's true.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
So with that, I'm just going to sit down and you guys can talk.
I will take a stab. A couple things as you were talking about Dale's vision. You mentioned the things that are built. And I think those are really, really important. Oh. Why is it every time we talk about Parks and Rec, I do this? Every single time, Dale. Every time. Those things are great, but they are only for hosting the things that make you great. The people, the sporting events, the programming, the things that make a community a community. That's where Dale shines, right? That's where his division, his department has really shined. He's brought the community together. They bring the community together. Whew. All the time. We're better because of Dale and his impact, except for that picture. Thank you for throwing something in there that I could distract myself. I've told the story 100 times about the impact that Parks and Rec's made on my life. And I know for sure I'm not alone. Whether that's playing baseball or riding a bull or roping a calf, or is that things you do at rodeos? I got 2 of them right? Yeah. Or Fit City, whatever it is, the rec center itself, bringing the community together is what Dale is known for, and that's his legacy. You mentioned that he stuck around to be part of the rec center, and I think there were a lot of folks in our community who said, Dale wants to make this his thing. No, he wants to create something that lasts for those that need to be there. So, thank you, Dale. I had to sit through my last commission meeting as someone leaving when I left the department, when I retired, and it is the most surreal moment of my entire life. Just sitting there, like, this is it. You look at the clock and you're like, 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, whatever it might be, it is a surreal moment. Cherish the heck out of it because you only get one of them. And you're going to hear this, the rest of us too, that the impact you've made on the community, on our lives, is so significant, and I appreciate it. And it sounds so trivial that Parks and Rec, like I'm having an emotional breakdown because of Parks and Rec? Seriously? But that's how much it means. And that's how much it means from the 45,000 people that are in this community today. And when you started, it was probably 10,000 people. You've made a difference. I appreciate it. My family appreciates it. So thank you, Del.
I'll go next, if that's okay. I bet your family's so excited that when you travel now, you don't have to go to the park in that city. I hope Sharon can just go shop more and eat at good restaurants and not even have to stop by a park. I remember you guys saying, everywhere we go, we had to drag the whole family to every park. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is leadership. And I think your leadership has been with love. You love big, and everyone feels it. I know I have, serving with you the last 11 years. It's been so much fun, and you're leaving your fingerprints on so many things, from the arena to the All Abilities Park. That was a big lift. That was a fast lift, and you nailed it. And I'm so glad you were willing to stick around and wrap up Fit City, because it's going to have a lasting impact on our community. So I think that's, I want to say with Fit City, I still remember the day you and Bronco pulled me aside at the Pyro musical, and you said, just imagine a big rec center right there. And I said, I hate that idea, that's dumb. And you guys were like, no, envision it. And I'm like, no, what about here? And I had all these other ideas. And then one of you called and said, let's go on a ride along. And I didn't look at that as like you were trying to change my mind. Maybe you were. But you also were educating me on, like, this piece of land they're not willing to sell. Okay, this piece of land isn't big enough. Okay. So it just led, like, all roads led back to that. So you listened, and that's a sign of a great leader. And you and Sharon will both be missed. So thanks, Del. I love you.
My turn? Wow. Somebody check on them. Dale is the opposite of Ron Swanson. If you know Ron Swanson, he is a park and rec director that does not want to build a park. Dale Robinson has never seen a piece of ground that he hasn't wanted to put a park on. Dale leaves behind a lot for us to be grateful for. He has served Spanish Fork very, very well, and for years and years to come, we'll be able to look at something and say, that's Dale Robinson. Dale had a huge part in that. So many things. Can't start to list them all. But Dale, sincerely, thank you. Thank you for the work that you've put in to building a community that we can all be very proud of. It's beautiful. Spanish Fork, we hear this everywhere we go. All of the other conferences that we attend, other cities are envious of the beauty of Spanish Fork, the things that we have here, and a lot of that is due to fantastic leadership in our Parks and Rec department. So thank you, Dell. We will miss you. I know you're not going anywhere. We'll still see you and Sharon around. Glad that you made it to your retirement, and that things weren't worse than they were up the canyon. So glad that you're here tonight. Sincerely, thank you. Appreciate all that you've done, especially your friendship. You're a great person.
Thank you. I had a lot of nice things to say, and then I saw that Denver Bronco shirt. No, there's two things that I've learned in my time knowing Dell. One is that when something in the city, nobody knows where to put it, it goes to Parks and Rec. But then Dell is able to take that with his team, and he says, if we're going to take it, we're going to do it right. And I think that goes a long way from everything that happens in that department, from you and your life, that if we're going to do something, let's do it right and make sure that it's something that we can put our name on. And that, I think your family respects that. They see that in you. And obviously it's been a hard decision to retire and to say it's time to take on that next step. But your legacy will go on both in the department, in your family, and in the city of Spanish Fork forever because of your willingness to say we're going to do things the right way. And that includes training those who are taking places after you. It'll continue forward. Thank you, Dale, for your friendship. Thank you for who you are, and thank you for always being willing to take the calls that at random times about random things. Thank you, Dale, and good luck in retirement.
Well, thank you. Dale, you ready? While Dale's coming up, one thing I'll add, in addition to the things, as Councilman Marshall put it, which is very, very appropriate, I think Jack Swenson helped create a foundation of what I might say is a Spanish Fork way, a Spanish Fork standard, that this is how we do our parks. This is how we do our programs. And Dale has further refined and defined what that is. And I think that spreads into every aspect of Parks and Recreation, right? It's as you said, it's an extremely expansive department. And, the way that we care for our parks, the way that we run our golf course, the way that we do our gun club. Who has a gun club? Well, we do, right? The way that we do our rec center, all of the elements of Parks and Recreation rise to what you might call the Spanish Fork standard. And Dale has further refined that. Before I let Dale speak, there is a picture that shows up on this carousel of pictures where Dale's at his house and there are cookies. Do you still, Sharon, make cookies every day? It's not every day, okay. But once a week? So Dale has in his freezer, seriously, glass mugs that are in his freezer, not full of anything, they're just cold, and they're waiting. And at night, when Dale goes home, he might pull out one of those mugs and pour milk in it, right, Zach? Just pours milk into it, and there's a chocolate chip cookie. I can't remember what you were recovering from. Was this the avalanche? The avalanche?
Yeah.
I think so, chocolate chip cookies. But if you ever want to spend time with Dale talking about something, go to his house at night. He'll pull out a frozen glass mug, pour you a glass of milk, and there will probably...
Milk?
Well, for this room, yes.
Okay.
For this setting, yeah.
You've had frozen mug root beer, right?
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking. I don't know what he was thinking.
It could be.
It could be that.
Sharon? Just get up here too. He's gonna need your arm. Get some tissues for him.
I've
too.
got some.
Okay.
I don't know if it's enough, but I have tissues.
So Dale's got till the end of the month, and we'll have a party. We'll have a retirement thing for him, and that'll be near the end of the month after the rodeo. So this is not it. We don't need to, give him presents. He's like, can you give me my name tag? No, that would cheapen it. But we'll have a party for him and a celebration of him later in the month. But again, this is just council meeting. But Dale, Sharon.
Well, thank you for your kind words. This is a hard thing. Seth told me, and I left all this cowboy garb on and glasses to try to belt buckles and boots to try to toughen up a little bit, but it doesn't seem to have any power over your heart.
Way up, Dale.
So I wrote down a couple of things. I'm not going to sit here and read to you all night, but there's a couple of things that if I don't read it, I'm not going to be able to get it out. But it's hard to believe. It's like Shane said, this is very surreal. When you've spent 38 years in this business and 30 years here in Spanish Fork, it's very surreal. But it's overwhelming to look back and think about some of the things that we've been able to do, and my heart's obviously full of gratitude that we've been able to do some fun things in our community together. And this isn't about Dale. I can't do this by myself. I've got to have a mayor and a council and administration that's supportive. And we've had that in Spanish Fork, which is so unique. Even in the state of Utah, it's very unique to have the support that we have for Parks and Rec. I have Most of those are eating breadcrumbs off the floor, and I've never felt that way here. We've always been at the table with every other division, every other department. Like, let's do what's best for Spanish Fork. And I've appreciated that. And I love the fact that when we get officials who are elected, who have lived here and grew up here and know what Spanish Fork's all about, you have a comfort level that they're going to take care of our city. And I've appreciated that about the council. But from the early days of planning to seeing families actively enjoying the spaces, that's what this is about. This is all about that. It's not about me building shrines to myself or my department. It's all about what we can provide. And I've said this since the beginning of my career, whatever money you're going to take from Parks and Rec, give it to the police department, because they're going to need it. And what I mean by that is we need to have things for our kids to actively participate in. And now it's to get them out from in front of the screen, right? Give them some productive things that they can do to help with their physical and their mental health. So that really is what this is all about. I need to tell you, though, it's extremely rare to have the opportunity to work in this profession in your own hometown. You think about it, there's one Parks and Rec director in a city. And I feel very blessed to be able to spend so many years in a city that I truly love and care about. It's unheard of to have the chance to give and serve a city that gave so much to me and has had a tremendous impact on my life and the life of my family. When I started in 1996, we had 85 parks, 85 acres of parks in the city, and today we have 271. So we've accomplished a lot of things, and I always say I tell my staff constantly that you can do your job without me, but I can't do my job without you, and this is all about them. And I appreciate they're the ones that deserve the credit for a lot of the great things that have happened here. But it's interesting because even after the bond in 1997 failed for the sports park, our administration and our council didn't give up on that dream. Now, it took us 20 years to build the park, but look what we have today. We just built it phase by phase as we could afford it, as we ended up having money to be able to do that. That's dedication and perseverance from an administration and a staff that had a vision of what Spanish Fork needed and what we should put there. Projects like the Adventure Heights All Abilities Park, and I'm not going to touch on all of these because there's so many, and you guys have touched on some, so thank you. But that thing's etched in my soul. Being able to work with so many citizens that have challenges in their homes and challenging needs in their families was very special to me, and it changed my life. They're the ones that deserve the credit for that special place. But it moved me to be able to realize the struggles that they were having and the impact that this place could have on their families. So that was very special to me. Obviously, the Fit City Center's been on my bucket list for 20 years. And I think the thing that makes some of these things special is they didn't come easy. I mean, you cherish the things most that you have to work hard for. And I think that's why this became so special. That's why the rodeo arena became so special. Is I sat in a room full of administrators, my boss, and council members and contractors, and they said, no, we're not going to do that. I was the only one that voted for doing it this way. And so I couldn't sleep that night, and so I had to do like any good coyote would do when he's rounding up the sheep. He'd take them off one at a time and go visit with them and share my vision with them. So I think some of these facilities are a little more special just because we had to work extra hard to get them. But none of that happens without the support of administration and the council. The golf course improvements, the reservoir and the campground. That reservoir, like any other facility in the state, was a pressurized irrigation reservoir, would have just been fenced off, and we decided we wanted to use it for a recreation facility. Nobody had done that to that point, so we created a beach right here in Spanish Fork and turned it into an outdoor recreation facility, along with the campground. The river trail system, we can go on and on about this. I'm just full of gratitude for the opportunity that I've had to be able to be here and to work with such outstanding individuals. Together, we've quite literally shaped the landscape of this city. But none of these milestones would have been possible without the dedication of my incredible team, my colleagues, and community partners and residents who supported these visions. Grateful to all of my administrators and Jack Swenson and Karen Bradford, who decided to give me a chance 30 years ago, to take a chance on me. Most importantly is this little girl right here. This is not an easy profession and I know you guys all have some too, but this profession's tough for wives and families, particularly in the early years, and she supported me for 38 years. And she's been my rock and constant support. Long days, stressful project phases. She's been there for every triumph. And I couldn't have had this rewarding career or help to be able to have an influence in this community without her by my side. Thank you. You got any more Kleenexes? One other thing I want to say, and then I'll be done. I want this council and administration to rest assured that our succession plan has been put into place. Oh, thank you. I wore these out. Our succession plan has been put into place, and the Parks and Recreation Department is in good hands. The culture that we've created will continue, and you will not notice a lapse in any service provided in our department. We've been working on that the last month, and we have outstanding individuals in place that I have full confidence in. In fact, you guys will wonder who the heck I was a month ago, which is how it should be. If I've done my job right, this department won't miss a beat, and you guys won't feel any void in the service that they're providing. And I have full confidence in this team that we've assembled. I'm grateful for them, and again, grateful for all of the staff and for my family that's behind me who have supported me in this cause. It takes an entire team to be able to pull this off. Just Fiesta Days alone is no small task, right? We love our volunteers, and we have to have them. And I think that's part of what makes this rewarding too, is you get to see in our community, which is unique again, that people come out and they're willing to volunteer. They're willing to give of their precious time to help the community be better. Whether it's coaching a baseball team or planting flowers or a million other things, or working on Fiesta Days committees. We have several committees, and I love working with the citizens. They're fantastic. They love this community, and that's why they give their precious time to serve in many capacities. All right, honey, I'm going to turn it over to you. I'm done. Thank you all. We're looking forward to the next chapter.
This will age us, but when he started, I remember when he got his master's degree, we were dirt poor. We got our first Mac computer. The screen was about this big. When he worked for Provo City, they didn't even have a computer to do the brackets, so they leased our computer for $175 a month from us. And then he worked there 8 years, came here, and I remember him installing down at the high school the first fax machine that you ever had. that really ages us of how the technology and stuff. But
I think what they
it's-
want to know is, did you meet him on Main Street?
No, I did not.
We did
I did
not
not.
meet on Main Street.
No, but
But
when,
we did drag Main.
yeah. Anyway, it's been a good haul, and thank you so much for. We were so excited when he was able to come to Spanish Fork. When the kids would have their little things in school, they'd say, "Well, what does your dad do?" And they go, "He watches ball games." That's what they used to think when they were little, but it was a lot more than that. But it's been a good haul, and we appreciate the city and living here. It's been great. Thank you.
You guys have any questions for Sharon?
I do want to say something about Sharon. My first deeper interaction around Sharon happened at an event we held, I think it was in 2008, called the Wind Festival. And that was up at the reservoir, if any of you remember that. But that was I think it was a 2-day event. We actually had some wet jets that we rode around on the reservoir, and we had a bunch of different things associated with wind. And that was a long day. Those 2 days were really long. And Sharon was there the entire 2-day stretch. Not just sitting in a chair, and not that that's the example, but she wasn't just there. Like, she was actively involved in making that event happen. And I didn't really know Sharon that well by 2008, but it was from then I'm like, this lady is committed to this town just as much as her husband. And from then until now, it's been the exact same. It's been the exact same thing. I'm pretty sure that costume came from probably Sharon's help. But bookend that, my experience in 2008 too. We had the outdoor grand opening of the swimming pool on Memorial Day weekend, I think, and Sharon was there the day before and the day of, helping get everything set up, and as if she was an employee, right? Just as involved as everything, and just as emotional as Dale. It was just wonderful to see that love. So Sharon, you have been a tremendous asset to this community too, and your husband is great, and so are you. And we're going to miss him, but we're also going to miss you, and the strength and support that you give to him, but also the strength and love that you give to our community. So thank you.
Thank you. This has been very nice. I appreciate it. Glad it's over.
Mayor Pro Tem, would you mind if we had Dale and his kids, and then Dale and his staff come up and take a picture with you like they were employees of the quarter?
You guys need to go down there. He just wants me up here. Just kidding. So,
You're not going to get it. It's rigged.
hey, let's have all of his family first. Come on up.
Those that are here, you kids, get up here.
I think we'll divide. We'll put him right between us.
That works.
Let's have the council go this way a little bit.
Right here, Jack.
That's perfect.
Jack, you can't even see me. That's not good.
That's perfect. That's good right here. I'm just gonna take a bunch of them.
Trade shade sides.
More, Stacy. Scoot over more towards Shane.
That's where he was.
No,
Yeah,
please
take
don't.
your hat off. Let's do like. It's like perfect.
This side it is. He needs that 4 more months.
Say without mic.
All right. We're doing another version.
Yes,
Yes,
now
or just family?
staff.
He's got a bunch of his great
All the
employees that are here.
people
Will you
here
guys
for
come up
him.
as well? Hallie Joe, that means you too.
Yep.
Come on. Come on. You can come up and sit by me then. I know. I even offered her candy.
fine.
No,
It's best for all
You
of
can
us.
put
It's
it on.
fine.
You're all right.
I hid behind you and he said, "Kay, looks good."
Can you stand in front of Stacy?
All right, official guy.
Yeah, Stacy, move over a little bit. Great.
You guys are great.
Thank you. You guys, appreciate you.
Thank you. Yep.
Thanks.
You're awesome.
Love you, Dale. Thank you.
The amount of times I've cussed Dell that he didn't know about, I feel bad.
Well, we have closed session, so we'll have Jesse take dismiss us to that, and then Dell can leave and go visit with all of his friends and family.
I move that we adjourn to closed session for strategy sessions to discuss purchase, exchange, or lease of real property, or strategy session to discuss pending or reasonably imminent litigation in the Explorer Room.
Second.
Motion made by Councilman Cardin, second by Councilman Euler. All in favor, say yes.
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 Is that
Okay.
a roll call?
Tara, is that a roll call? Okay. Councilwoman Beck, yes. Councilman Cardin.
Yes.
Councilman Marshall.
Yes.
Councilman Euler.
Yes.
Okay, we're
I like that
we're
you
adjourned.
went first after you knew everybody was already going to say yes.
Yeah. One day I'm saying no to that.
Tyler, did you win?